Good day, everyone. Welcome to our new discussion for today, which is the Curse Pack 6 with the specific issues in STS, specifically the nanotechnology. First things first, I am your presenter. I am Miss Bibidin M. Estrara, and in this lesson, we will be exploring about nanotechnology. And as we all know, that the world is getting smaller each by as times goes by because of the advancement of our technology. So, without further ado, let's get started. So these are the learning objectives that we are to attain. No, these are the learning objectives for us to be guided all throughout the lesson. So at the end of the discussion, the students should be able to first define what is nanotechnology. Second, know how nanotechnology impacts the lives of society and to the environment. Third is to examine the advantage and disadvantages of the nanotechnology. And lastly, show appreciation of the simple and natural things in the environment. So let's proceed on introducing what really is nanotechnology. So before knowing what is nanotechnology, let us first know what is nano world. So let's for the first bullet, no, a nanoparticles means 1 billion. A 1 billion. A nanometer is a 1 billionth of a meter. And in physics, we all know that in physics, nano means 0. Nano equivalents to 10 times raised to the nano is equivalent to 10 raised to the power of negative 9, which is very, very small. No, to the point that its value is insignificant in physics. But let's try to understand what really is nanotechnology, what really is nano in technology. So, um, to have a better understanding or to have a clearer view of what is nanotechnology, let us first see or let us view this figure beside the definition of the screen depicted. So first is the baseball bat. We have a baseball bat with a length of 1 meter. And based on the video, no, when we divided this the length of this baseball bat into 10, this 1 meter will be divided into 10. We will get the size of our fingertip, which is 1 centimeter. This 1 centimeter will be divided into 10 again, then we will have the size of our needle eye, which is 1 millimeter. And then this 1 millimeter will be divided into 10 again, then we will get the human hair size, which is 100 micrometer. And we all know that 100 micrometer is micro in our physics is equivalent to 10 raised to the power of negative 6. So it's very small value. So when we divided the size of this human hair into 10 again, then we will get the size of our blood cell, which is 10 micrometer. And then we will be divided this the size of this blood cells into 10, then we will get the size of bacteria, which is 1 micrometer. And then we will divide it again this size of bacteria into 10, then we will get the size of virus, which is 100 nanometer. And then remember that nanometer, we are talking about nanometer, we are not talking about 100. So we need to dig deeper in order to know what how really small is nanometer. So when we divided this 100 nanometer into 10, then we will get the half of the DNA, the size of the half of the DNA, which is 1 nanometer. Imagine how small that is. These blood cells, these red blood cells, these bacteria, these viruses, this DNA, these we cannot see this in our naked eye. We need a high electron microscope in order for us to view these microbes or to view this um, little little life. No, we need an instrument in order to view this. How much more? No, and that is the nano world. So we already have the idea of what is nano world, and comparing that to nanotechnology, we already have a hint, no, of how small is nanotechnology. It is very very small that we cannot able to see it in our naked eye. So in the third bullet, this nanotechnology means are very small, means they are lighter, they are faster, they are cheaper and smarter. Yeah, as human as we are, we really like big, large things, right? We only are right we only are after two big things, and we tend to set aside the small ones, which are being devalued by us. These smaller things has values, has a significant value without knowing what really its value is. No? As human as we are, we only think of those things that we can benefit from, right? So now let's dig deeper. What is nanotechnology and how it can impact our lives as well as to our environment? So to have a better or clearer definition of what is nanotechnology or nano world, let us compare our first computer to the smartphones or to the gadgets, to the technologies that we have right now. So, knowing that the first computer, which is, if I am not mistaken, it is ENIAC 1 and ENIAC 2. So these, knowing that these computers are very large, very heavy, and not really that accurate, right? So imagine that these computers can occupy the whole room. So as human now, we cannot, as human who have that computer, that large computer, we cannot be able to carry that computer to our day-to-day go, right? So comparing to the computer that we have right now, it is so easy. It can be hand carry. We can get it wherever you want, wherever we wanted to go, right? We can use it, no, wherever and whenever we are, right? So that's the big difference of the nanotechnology and um to the to the gadgets, no, to the large scale gadgets that you have right now. That is nanotechnology, the smallest. So now let's proceed to what is really a nanotechnology. What is nanotechnology? So, according to the European Commission Scientific Committee on Emerging and Newly Identified Health Risk, or SENIR, nanotechnology refers to the branch of science and engineering devoted to designing, producing, and using structures, devices, and systems by manipulating atoms and molecules at nanoscales. It is being stated there that nanotechnology is a way of based on, according to our center or our scientific committee, that nanotechnology is manipulating atoms and molecules at nanoscale, meaning manipulating those atoms, manipulating the smallest, smaller particles in order to design, in order to produce a new devices or a new things or a new system, no, using those or manipulating those atoms, having our example given, having one or more dimension of the order of 100 nanometers or a billionth of a meter or less. So um, second is according to the article of NASME, or the American Society of Mechanical Engineers Organization, nanotechnology will leave virtually no aspect of life untouched. Imagine nanotechnology will no leave virtually aspect of life untouched, meaning nothing will be left untouched, no, by the 2020, by expected by the 2020. So in addition, a policy paper by the National Academy of Agricultural Sciences, or NAAS, describes nanotechnology as modern history, sixth revolutionary technology. As we all know, when we say revolutionary, there is something great, or there is a complete dramatic change, meaning by the said time, no, the NAAS, no, describes these nanotechnologies as a sixth revolutionary technology, meaning there would be a great or dramatic changes when times comes, when these nanotechnology will be developed even more. Let's proceed to the next slide. So how nanotechnology can change our life. So we can see here the first figure, the first computer. So first bullet, nanotechnology not only about making things smaller, no. And the second bullet, science has different rules in the nanoscale. No? By breaking down of materials into smaller size, down to nanometer, its physical and chemical properties will dramatically change. That is why nanotechnology is not about making things smaller, but it is about it is it is about manipulating the order in which the atoms are put together. No, in nanotechnology, it is not about the atomic makeup of a thing, but no, in the video, no, that I have um, watched, no, it was mentioned that nanotechnology is not about it is about the order in which these atoms are put together being manipulated. No, like on how they convert. No, we can discuss that in this next slide. But in the third bullet, no, fingering is the best was said to be the best example, which is gold, no, yellow in color. So this ring gold nanoparticle is not necessarily in the nano world, no, it's not necessarily yellow, no, it's not necessarily to be yellow in the nano world, no. This gold ring will be manipulated, the materials of this gold ring will be manipulated or will be disordered or manipulated, and then these gold ring's physical and chemical properties would be changed. It can be a violet, it can be a blue, or even it can be a green in color. And that's what you call a quantum effect. Let's proceed to the next slide. So nanotechnology is about the order of how each atoms are put together. So let's take a look at these pictures. These are the order, no, which is the sand. Of course, we know what is sand. And these sands, the materials of these sands will be manipulated, will be ordered, these atoms in the sense will be ordered to be transformed into silicon. And these, no, we have coal, and we know what is coal. No, and these materials inside of this coal, the materials that made up of this coal will be converted, will be manipulated to form or to convert it into gold. Imagine from coal to gold, how big the difference, how impossible it was for us to know. But now that we know what is that we know the application of these nanotechnologies to the actual world, it is very, very impossible. It is very, very possible, rather. So the old sick people to young healthy ones. Oh, imagine you are already sick, you are already old, but with the application of nanotechnology, you can be turned into a young healthy ones. How amazing that can be, how amazing is technology. So by 2018, it was also um, projected in there that by 2018, smartphones that have a video projector that can produce a 3D imagery. Oh, awesome. It's so awesome that you can have a smartphone that can give you a 3D imagery. How However, we don't know what's the effect of that to us. No, by the 2025 will be the end of laundry. Well, by 2025, all the laundries will be end. Meaning we don't do any washing. We only rely to these nanotechnologies. No, we will just rely to these nanotechnologies, and then voila, we have nothing to do now. And then robots are building robots. Why? Because robots are building tiny tiny particles down to molecular level. So let's proceed to the next slide. So today, so in this part, no, let us know the advantages and disadvantages, or the advantages and the benefits of this nanotechnology. So we have here ultra high yield agriculture, cheap power, environment remediation, zero pollution manufacturing, personal spacecraft. So in medical nanorobotics, no, we have here no the artificial red blood cell. That color blue is is making the blood cell artificial, and then we have artificial white blood cell also. So when these artificial RBC and WBC find the infection, they devour it, meaning no, they will the medicine will make or will do something for the artificial red blood cells and white blood cells in our body in order for it to detect no the infections, no, in order to help no in order to help the infections the inside our body demolish or to perish. So um before, no, as we all know though, that the the traditional mythology in surgery is very painful, no, painful injections, risk of infections. Of course, we are not assured that the surgery is um pretty careful to careful the by the doctors, and then and also no, the surgery is very expensive. But now, no, tiny particles float in eye drops, no, in eye surgery, or when we have something in our eye, no, we only no we only you these nanoparticles that float in eye drops, no, that float in eye drops na. So no, us ourselves will self medicate, no, with the use of these eye drops, no, we can medicate at home, no, which is quick, painless and cheaper, which is 90% cheaper. No, the surgery is not risk of infection also. No, that's the properties and hope, no, that the nanotechnology has um, given to us. Let's proceed. So what you're seeing right now is the DNA nanotechnology. So this no DNA nanotechnology, no, kana every dot in that, no, every dot is an atom. And this we all know that nanotechnology is about manipulating atoms, particles. No, that every dot in that is the atom. No, looking at tiny robots text, no, will be able to perform a glaucoma surgery, gastric pipe gas surgery, and even provided dental affair. So let's proceed. No, we have an example of graphene. No, graphene is the best example of nanotechnology. So graphene is the tiniest material ever built. In fact, it has no height. It's very thin. Imagine its size, that it has no height. The strongest material ever measured. To know what is graphene, no, that we have our pencil. No, we know what is pencil man. And then our pencil is composed of lead, and that lead is composed of graphene. And then that lead, no, when we scratch that, when we take a layer of that to a sheet of paper, that is that's the thinnest. No, that is graphene. No, as we all know, graphene is graphene came from graphite. Dong nga sa dong kapuya. Uy, di ka sabot. Anak lang kaluyo. Ay kog langay-langay ha kay klase pa ko, exam pa ko. Oh, tanaw diri. Ang bidayon ighuman. Atong atong kwarto. Oh, atong kwarto lakaw. Lakaw. Kwarto, kwarto. Ay paghilak ha. Muhilak gani ka kuaon ko na. So, to have for us to have a understanding of what is graphene. No, graphene is as pliable as rubber. It can stretch to 150% of its size. No, it is very stretchable. Second is almost completely transparent, transmits at 97.7% of light. It is very transparent. It is highly conductive, which means 150 times more than silicon. It is very conductive. It is 150 times more conductive than the silicon. And then it is the only substance that completely impermeable to liquids and gas. Yet it weighs almost nothing. And lastly, it is theorized. It was being theorized and being isolated, no? And it's found out that 10,000 no patents exist. It is very useful. This graphene is very useful. So what are the potential uses of graphene, by the way? So first is for computing. Now for computing, ultra long life batteries and photovoltaic cells to power everything from mobile devices to your home. Imagine from that from the thinnest material, it can provide a power to everything from mobile devices to our home. Second is computers are 100 times faster than today's fastest machines. Touchscreens, liquid crystal displays, and organic LEDs or smartphones, tablets, and televisions that are super thin, bendable, and unbreakable. For environment, it can eliminate radioactive waste and toxic spills, and we all know that radioactive is very harmful to humans. Thus, this graphene no, in our environment, this graphene can help eliminate the waste and toxic spills from these radioactive. And then second, water filtration systems for desalinization and creating biofuels. biofuels. We all know that biofuels is very useful to humans, no, that without harming humans, no, from the word itself, biofuels, bio, which means that fuels came from the bio, or the organic materials, which are not harmful. And the last one is it can improve the solar cells. And for the aviation, no, conductive paint that removes ice from aircrafts. It can be weight saving inflatable slides and crafts. And for industry, no, it can improve the piezoelectric effect. No, it can improve the piezoelectric effect. It can be lubricant, it can be a radio wave absorption, it can absorb radio waves, which we know that radio waves is very harmful also to humans. Sound transducers, thermal management, structural materials, faster chemical reactions, and lastly, fluids that increases efficiency of coil drill. So next is we will now moving forward to the disadvantages of nanotechnology. So what are they? So as we all know that the world is getting smaller and smaller, and we always remember that everything is connected. The world is smaller and interconnected with the use of this nanotechnology. So, in nanotechnology, those aforementioned above, the advantages aforementioned above are also connected to these disadvantages, which means that those advantages has its connection to the disadvantages that we can and we are and we will be experiencing as time goes by. So what nanotechnology can do to us beneficially, we may benefited so much from that nanotechnologies. However, as we all know that the world is connected and smaller because of these nanotechnologies, no, those advantages are also connected to its potential disaster. No? So nanoscience is not just one science, it is a flat platform that includes biology, chemistry, physics, electronics, medicine, material science, and engineering, which shown its potential to positive impact, no, our quality of life. Though um, those inventions from the nanotechnologies showed or has a great positive impact to our quality of life. Now, breath analysis, which as one of many research areas in this field, can empower us with a better diagnostic technology and can help us to save many lives in the near future. No, as we all know that science has a different rule in the world of nanotechnology, but with a better understanding, knowledge, and awareness of these nanotechnologies, manipulating and using these properties of materials in a good purpose, no, can achieve a developed country yet has harmonious relationship with nature without harming, without scratching our nature. So that's all, and thank you for listening.